Hello friends, welcome back, or welcome if it is your first time here. Today, I was going to say today we're doing a really exciting video, which we are, but we're just going to try some more makeup that I got, because I actually have a hospital appointment, so I'm actually going to go out in this makeup, but there was some of it that I really wanted to try, because honestly at the minute I have like sort of no makeup that I actually really love. So I already have come to you with, I put some concealer on. I use this one we're going to use today, which is the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser, and honestly I really liked it on the eyelids. And then I just put a transition shade in my crease. I just used this one from the Neutral Wanderlust palette from MUA. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this. So I got this from Amazon. I showed it off in like my little haul video, but I thought I'd show you this going on. This is in the shade Cheers, and it is just so beautiful. It was like $8.99 from Amazon. So I'm going to zoom you all the way in. And I'm literally just going to like grab it on my finger. And I literally just want to press it all over my eye. So like just look at that sparkle that it gives. The shade looks like it could be quite dark like in the pot, but it's just more like a sparkle. And I wore this the other day for like the full day, and it didn't crease at all, and it wore super beautifully. Like in that haul video that I filmed, I was wearing this on my eye, and I had been wearing it all day when I was out shopping, so obviously I was like quite sweaty because, like, you know, shopping. But yeah, it's just so beautiful. Honestly, this is gonna be like my new go-to everyday eyeshadow, because it's just so easy and just so beautiful, and it just sort of gives that like it gives that like glazed donut effect that everyone sort of like is obsessed with, where it's more just like a beautiful like glossy sheen over the eye. And I just think it's so stunning. And you can also sort of like build it up a little bit if you want to wear it for like a date night or whatever, but I just really love it. Like, it's just so stunning. So that is that done, and then I want to do a little bit of a winged eyeliner. So this eyeliner I've used once, and it also came in my Amazon makeup mystery box, so I'll show that to you as well, because it's like a really weird eyeliner. It has like a really weird like tip to it. So this is the eyeliner I'm talking about. This is the Collection Extreme Bold 24-hour felt tip calligraphy liner. So the reason that this is super weird is that it has like a very like a flat tip to it. I've never seen an eyeliner with this kind of tip to it before, and I used it the other day, and honestly like it was pretty easy to use. I'm not very good at eyeliner at all. Again, I wore it all day, and the formula didn't like smudge, run, or do anything weird, but like it was good, but also like it wasn't, I suppose, like the easiest to use, especially like in this outer part. But again, it's like the first time I've done winged eyeliner in the longest time, so it's probably me. But I'm just gonna do a relatively like small wing, but it goes on like pretty easily, and because it's got like this nice flat tip, I feel like I can be very precise with it, and it's not like too liquidy either, to the point where like it's just going everywhere. Because sometimes eyeliners, they'll be really liquidy to the point where you're trying to draw a line and it's like fraying and going everywhere, whereas this one you can be really precise. I do see how this would probably be good for graphic liner, to be honest. But anyway, I'm gonna sit here and do my eyeliner. Honestly, I'm not even breathing really while I'm doing it, so it's probably not very interesting. So I'll do this, and then I'll come back, and yeah, we'll move on to the face and stuff. Okay, so I'm back after doing the eyeliner. I also added a little bit of just black gel liner in my waterline, and honestly like it was very easy to do, and anytime I made any little mistake, it was really like easy to sort of like fix it with the tip. So honestly, I do really like that eyeliner, and it also dried down matte. So yeah, I really like the eyeliner. I think the tip on it is like very innovative But yeah, this is the eye look done, and honestly this is going to be like my new everyday eye look. Like the black eyeliner I've really been into again recently. Like I was really off of it for a long time because it's always so hard to do and I always mess it up, but I've really been into it again recently, and the sparkle, just like, I actually can't. The sparkle is beautiful. So for foundation today, I really want to try out the Maybelline Dream Cushion Fresh Face Liquid Foundation on the go. I've got mine in the shade Ivory, by the way, and it's got SPF 20 in it. It doesn't say anything about it. I showed it in my haul. This is how it comes. It's got like a little puff, which I don't think I'm going to use. And then it has the little cushion here. So I think I'm just going to go in with my sponge, my biodegradable blender from Eco Tools, because that's how I love to apply cushion foundations. And also, I've only tried one cushion foundation, but I absolutely loved it. It was from Amazon, so I'm really hoping that I'm going to like this as well. Yeah, I figured I'd try it from like a more mainstream brand because I figured maybe it'd be easier to just keep getting and get your hands on. So I'm just gonna go like straight in with it and just grab some. Oh, it looks a bit dark, to be honest. That's the only thing with like cushion foundations that I've found really, is that a lot of them, because it's really inspired by Korean beauty, a lot of the shades are very, very light. Like they don't tend to do like deeper shades. So this is actually pretty good. It's not as glowy right off the bat as my other cushion foundation that I had, but I do still like it. I also wanted to mention as well that I've been using that retinol serum from, it was the one I got from Superdrug. I spoke about it in my haul. I've used it for 2 nights now, and I do actually think I've noticed like a difference in my skin. Like when I sat down to film today, I was like, my skin's looking like really like plump. Like I don't know how to describe it other than like it's just looking really like plump and like healthy and like weirdly like youthful. So yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing I've really changed in my skincare. So I do feel like, weirdly enough, I've actually seen like a difference. Also, this has some actually pretty nice coverage to it. Typically, cushion foundations, they're meant to be very like natural, glowy, just look like very minimal makeup, which I think is why I like them. But this, like you can see, I've still got this nasty spot up here. Like you can still see a little bit of my rosacea, which is fine, but this actually has a really nice, I'd say, light to medium coverage. You can see that I do think the shade is a little bit off because I've got kind of like a little white cast around my hairline, but that's fine. But you can see like on my pores, like you really can't see anything. Like it doesn't look like I'm wearing makeup. It just looks like I have really good skin, and that's what I love about cushion foundations. I will say, just right off my first impressions, I prefer my other cushion foundation from Amazon. It was just like a random one that I found on there. I think they're all pretty similar, but that was like a lot more glowy than this is. It still had like a decent amount of coverage, but yeah, I would say that I prefer that one, but this one is still really nice. It's just not as glowy as I would like, I don't think. But really nice amount of coverage. The reason I like these as well is that they're so freaking easy. Like you just dip in, you put it on your face and you're done. Like that other cushion foundation, the one from Amazon, I took it with me to Tenerife and I'd literally have my makeup done in like 20 minutes because it's just so easy. But I will say, of the foundations that I've tried in a while, this is probably one of my favourite that I've tried because it's just like, it's easy, it's minimal, it looks good, it's not like going in any of my fine lines, it's not adding any texture. Like it is a little bit glowy, like it's definitely got a little bit of luminosity to it, just probably not as much as I would like personally. But that's also a thing, like if you really like cushion foundations but they're typically like too glowy for you, maybe this is a really good shout because it's a little bit more, I'd say like natural than the other ones I've tried. We're going to go in now with concealer, and like I mentioned, we are using the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser. I've got mine in the shade 01. And it's just like a little sponge, which honestly I do not love, but whatever. I'm just going to put this under my eyes. This shade does not look like it's going to be very good. I do have another shade because I accidentally picked up 2 of these, but I really don't know if it's going to be any better. This one that I have here is in the shade 16W8, and this one is in the shade 16W9, so maybe I will blend this out and then open that one and see the shade. I really don't want to like open it if I didn't have to, because it would be easier to donate. That's like, that blends in like 2 seconds, but it doesn't seem to have like a lot of coverage to it. We'll try it under the eyes. I do think I'm gonna have to open up that other one and see if that shade's a bit better, because this is just a little bit too deep and like orange for me, especially under my eyes. I think it looks a bit silly. It looks like I've gone in with like a banana powder that's too dark for me. I actually think that looks pretty good. I mean, it definitely doesn't have a whole lot of coverage, but that blended out really easily, and it's like a really nice thin formula. I kind of get what they mean about like the anti-age thing. I think it's meant to be like not too much coverage, but it's not meant to like sink into your fine lines or anything or exaggerate. It definitely, yeah, it doesn't have like the most coverage ever. I'd say it's definitely like more of a light coverage, but it looks pretty like weightless under my eyes though. But it is a bit deep, so let me just open up the other shade. But I'll zoom you in quickly just so you can see. So you can see like it's really, you can still see my darkness pretty much, but it's really like lightweight under my eyes. Like it's not really going in my fine lines at all. Like it doesn't really look like I've got makeup on, which is really good, and it also pairs very well with the Cushion foundation. Honestly, I'm not hating my base. Let me just open up this other concealer really quickly. Okay, I had to resort to getting Cam to open this for me, but let's see if this shade's any better. That still looks so dark. Why? Honestly though, I don't feel like I need too much more coverage. Formula wise, I think I actually do quite like it. So I think I'm gonna just use a little bit of loose setting powder under my eyes first, and then I think I might go in with a little bit of the e.l.f. powder on the rest of my face if I feel like it. It is a little bit brightening for me, so it might honestly help with the under eyes. But I want to see how this sets with just like a normal loose powder first. So I'm just taking a really small amount of powder and I'm just going to buff it in. Honestly, for me, I find kind of like the less powder I use, the better my makeup feels and looks. That concealer has set down really nicely. Actually, it looks very natural. You can really see that the shade is too deep for me, which is really unfortunate, especially because I've got two. I've got two and the shade is wrong in both. So I am going to try a little bit of my e.l.f. powder. Again, I'm just going to use it on a brush because I really didn't like how it looked with the puff. I'm just going to take like a really small amount, and then we'll see side by side which one we prefer. The e.l.f. side looks a lot brighter. Like this side looks a lot more natural with the loose powder. So you can see there's like a real discrepancy in like the brightness. I will say as well that this side is more dry and more texturized than like the e.l.f. side versus the loose powder side. The loose powder is just one by Pretty Little Thing. But yeah, I mean I'm going to add a little bit of the e.l.f. one over here just to try and brighten it up as well. Yeah, I mean it's okay. I don't think I would use like the e.l.f. powder, like I mentioned in the last video, I think would be something that I would personally use for like special occasions. Like I'm not going to be using it every day, but I am glad that I tried it out so that I know that it's not going to be something that I want to use every day. I'm just taking a bit of the loose powder and just using that to sort of set the rest of my face. We're going to do a little bit of bronzer, and I pulled out the L'Oreal Infallible bronzer that we tried in the last video. I figured we'd just use this again with like a little bit of a lighter hand for a more sort of natural daytime appropriate look, because I do think that I could make this work. I mean, with how sort of orange my face is already, maybe it's not the best idea, but yeah, see, look, this looks nice. Like I mentioned in the last video, I definitely don't think it's going to become my like new favourite bronzer. To be honest, I switch around bronzers, but there's like a couple that I consistently use, which is like my Profusion highlight and contour palette, and also my Body Collection bronzer. But this is actually looking pretty natural today with like a lighter application. I actually like it. For blush, I think I want to use this one, which is a cream blush. This is from Essence. This is the Everlasting Blooms Lip and Cheek Stick. This one is in the shade Live Life in Full Bloom. It's just like a really pretty, like cool toned pink, and it works really nicely actually over powder, and I feel like it gives my skin a nice glow. So I'm just going to pop some right on the end of my beauty sponge, and then I'm just going to whack it straight on my cheek. And because it's a cream, it obviously has like a little bit of like luminosity to it, but I feel like this cream blush anyway has like a little bit of luminosity to it, like it's a little bit dewy, but I just think it's such a pretty colour. It's like very fresh faced in my opinion. Okay, so that is blush. I think it looks really good. It just looks really like youthful. It adds a nice little bit of luminosity to my skin, but like not too much. And I'm also going to go in with a little bit of highlighter. One that I've been using a lot recently has been this one from Primark. This is the Sweet Highlighter. It has this really pretty like rose imprint in it, which is really nice. It's only £4. I don't know if you can still get it because Primark is like a little bit weird with like their stuff. But it's like, it's really pretty. When I first tried it, I didn't think I liked it, but it's really nice. I just use a nice big brush, dip in lightly, and then just swirl it, and I think it's really pretty. It kind of has like a little bit of like a pink reflect, but not really, especially not in comparison to some of the others that I have. I just think it's actually really nice. It's like not super detectable either. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the MUA Pro Base Fixing Long Wear Spray. I actually really like this. Although the mister on mine is kind of like bust now, like the pump. Like sometimes it sprays fully, other times it doesn't. I don't know what's wrong with it. But it's like, it doesn't really change the finish of the skin. Like it does melt stuff in, but it's more sort of like a fixing spray rather than like a dewy setting spray or like a mattifying one. I'm just going to go ahead and put some lip oil on. This is probably what I'm going to wear in the end anyway. This is the Revolution Pro Eternal Rose Lip Oil. I really like this. I like it when I'm getting ready. I like it for like the day just because it's so like glossy. It's just really nice. It's like not sticky, it's not goofy. Let's do the brows. So for the brows, we are trying out the NYX Brow Glue. This is the tinted version, which honestly I'm a little bit scared. I have mine in the shade medium brown. It's the same tube, it's the same wand. Hopefully it's the same formula, just with like a little bit of colour. So I'll zoom you in. Okay, it doesn't really feel like I've got anything on my wand. So I just dip back in again. It really like, it doesn't have a lot of colour to it. Like it really is more of like a tint rather than like a coloured brow gel. That's very interesting. I actually think I prefer that versus like what we tried last time, that Maybelline one, because that was like very, very full on pigment, whereas this is way more natural. I way prefer this. Although I do feel like it's getting like a little bit hazy. But you can see side by side, like it definitely has added like tint. It's a little bit warm toned, to be honest. Like it's a little bit reddish. But you can see it has sort of like laminated my brows. Maybe not as much as the other brow glue, because I do feel like I'm a little bit scared of it. But it's tinted it, but sort of really naturally. I don't hate that. I don't like the colour, I don't think, though. But the actual formula, it seems like it's the brow glue formula just with like a little bit of tint in it, which I do think is, I don't know, that's really innovative, I think. Because I feel like every other brow glue, like if it's got colour in it, it's like colour like it'll put like a lot on your brows. Whereas this is way more natural, and I think it's actually very smart. Let's finish up the eyes. I think I'm just going to take this original little MUA Neutral Wonderlust palette that I was using and just run a little bit of shadow under my eye. Honestly, this palette is so nice. Like, I've been reaching for this transition shade quite a lot because like it just blends out so nicely, and like it has such nice pigment. I'm really excited to try more stuff from MUA because the stuff I have tried is very, very nice quality for very cheap. Let's do some mascara. I have used this once, but we're going to try out the Maybelline Sky High Lash Sensational mascara. So I'm sure you've probably all seen this a million times. The wand is very flexible. It's like a really nice, pretty typical wand. I feel like a lot of mascaras have this one now. And when I wore it the other day, it was nice. I liked the look of my lashes. It was not my favourite mascara I've ever tried. But also, this isn't the waterproof version, but it did last all day. It didn't flake, didn't smudge, didn't run. So that definitely gives it points. And it did make my lashes look, I would say, pretty long and pretty separated. And it also didn't get super drying or like clumpy. So honestly, I did really like this. I think the first time I tried it, which was probably about 2 or 3 days ago, it was like a little bit wet, the formula. I do feel like already it started to dry down a bit, and I do think this mascara would really benefit from drying out a little bit. But honestly, that's one coat. I do think it looks really nice. Okay, so I just finished off my makeup. So I've got 2 coats of mascara on, and honestly, it looks really good. Like, I genuinely can't complain. Also, it was like a really quick application. Also with the eyebrows, I just ran a little bit of pencil through. And again, it was a very quick application. I will say though, I have noticed that it's starting to like, it's like hazing a little bit above. I say hazing a lot, and I'm not sure that anyone ever really knows what I mean. But it's like when there's like mist, kind of like a light covering of colour. Like, it's not a lot, but when there's like this little bit of colour up here, it really bugs me. So I am noticing that a little bit. But it was super, super quick and easy to fill in my brows. I honestly didn't really have to do a lot. And yeah, I actually really like this look. I'm going to do a wear test for you guys. The time is currently 23 past 11. I'll show you the phone just so you know. So it's 23 past 11. So we'll do a wear test. I'm going to go to my hospital appointment now and do a little bit of shopping. And also, it is really, really windy today. You've probably heard it in the background. So I think it'll be a pretty good wear test. But I'm feeling good about it. So I will see you in a little bit. Bye. Okay, so it is the end of the day. The time is currently 20 to 8 at night. So we've done pretty much a 9-hour wear test, which is pretty good. And also, it was extremely windy today. I feel like you can probably tell by my hair. I haven't had a chance to brush it yet. But let's take a close look at this makeup because I actually haven't done that yet. So, zooming you all of the way in, let's look. So the first thing I do notice that I don't like is my under eye, particularly this one. This was the side that we applied the e.l.f. camo powder to. Honestly, this side, like the concealer, it does look a little bit like dark for my liking, and also there is like a tiny little bit of texture happening, but I do feel like there's 2 very distinct differences on my under eyes. So I do think that the e.l.f. camo, I've got like a bit of dry skin on my nose, the e.l.f. camo powder foundation, I don't think I like for setting the makeup under my eyes because it has caused quite a lot of like texture right in here. But the foundation wise, I feel like my face is looking really good actually. Like, I feel like it sustained a lot of coverage. I did have a pretty big rosacea flare up earlier today, and I felt like the whole foundation has hung on really well actually. I think it looks really good. Doesn't look too glowy, doesn't look too matte, doesn't look oily. It looks really good. I would use that foundation again. You can see the eyeshadow in its full glory. It still looks so sparkly. It's hung on really well. The eyeliner has held on really well as well. Like I mentioned, it was super windy, and when it's really windy, my eyes water a lot. So honestly, it's done really, really good. Any sort of blackness you can see in here is from, I used an Essence gel liner on my waterline, and that has transferred quite a bit, so that is that. The mascara, it hasn't flaked, smudged, done anything. There was maybe like the tiniest, and I mean the tiniest amount of transfer up here. It was also raining all day and I did not have a hood, so that's really good. And also when me and Cam went to lunch, he literally asked me if I was wearing false lashes, and I said no, and he said that my eyelashes looked really, really long. It looked like I was wearing false eyelashes. So that's kind of a good sign, because it shows that even he noticed my eyelashes, especially when I've got like eyeliner on. So I would definitely say that this is a good mascara. It definitely gets my thumbs up. I'm sure I'm probably missing something. Oh, the brows. The brows still look really good actually. They still look in their place. They still look laminated. There's definitely still a little bit of like that fading happening here, but honestly the brows, they look really good, and it was very quick and easy to do. So yeah, no complaints there. Honestly, just overall I'm really happy with how my makeup has lasted all day. I think it still looks really good even for like 9 hours of wear, even with like the bronzer, blush and highlight as well. All products that I've used before, but I do still think that it all looks really, really good. But yeah, that is it for me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like it and give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to see more from me. I try and post videos once a week. And comment down in the description if you're going to pick up this eyeliner. And comment down in the description if you're going to pick up this eyeshadow. And yeah, just any other products that you want to see tested out from any brand that is relatively affordable. Yeah, and I'm going to go now. Bye.